All right, guys. Welcome. And I tried to jump around to the various tables, make sure that you guys were using the navigating the networking okay, and it looks like you were. Um, and I know again, there's a lot of confusing things when we try a new platform, which is one of the reasons why I uh, have been using Zoom, is because we all know how to use Zoom, and it took us a while to get there. And so now that we know how to use Zoom, I'm introducing a new platform. But there's a couple of reasons why I like this. Is that the networking on the networking ability and the ability to communicate as a community is somewhat limited, and we've sort of pieced it together with duct tape on Zoom, where we're using the chat. But what I like about this is it sort of gives you that feel of a live event. And for those of you who just on my last table, somebody said, Steve, it's like you're a bride at a wedding. I was trying to jump around to every table and make sure everybody's happy and that you're getting along, and things like that. And it looked like most of you had sort of figured it out. Whoops. Okay, Zelma says, can you turn off music? I don't I don't have any music going on my computer. Okay. All right, good. So Zelma, that might be something that you have on your computer. Check your browser. You might have like a YouTube thing open. Okay, good. Yeah, because everybody says they don't. And hey, this was great, Zelma, because now everybody knows where chat is. All right. The other one of the cool things that you can see, that if you're on chat, that you can see all the attendees, which is something that we didn't have in Zoom. And if you update your profile, you can actually link it to your calendar account, your LinkedIn account. So I'm hoping that this will enable us to do a little bit more networking. Okay, so my game plan today is to, and here, let's just do a test. I want to just do a quick test here, and I'm going to pick on somebody on the, I'm going to try to find somebody on the call. So we're going to make this interactive as well, just like all of our events. But let me ask, I'm going to find somebody here. Oh, shoot. Here, I'm just going to pick on Ken Silverstein. Ken, raise your hand if you don't mind. There should be a raise hand button. Okay, so Ken's raised his hand. Whoops. And then I want to call on Ken. So I want to show you guys how, when you ask a question or you make a comment today as we're chatting, what that looks like. Oh, Ken, I can't find you now. Here, Ken, whoops. Okay, Ken, and then I'm going to bring you on, Ken. So Ken, you should be able to come onto the screen now.
Okay.
All right, Ken. So that's an example. Now, where did you, because my screen is different than yours, how did you raise your hand over?
I put my cursor on the raise hand at the bottom.
Okay, so there's a raise hand button at the bottom. Yep. I don't have that in mine. Okay, so guys, throughout the day, we're gonna, throughout our presentation, if you want to make a comment, you can obviously use chat, but if you just raise your hand, I'll bring you on the same way that I just did with Ken. And just so you guys know, Ken was the first person to register for this. And so another thing that it enables us to do is have little sponsor tables. So I gave Alfred House a little sponsor lounge there. And so you could, after the event, Ken will be hanging out in the Alfred House lounge if you want to chat with them.
Scares me. I once had a New Year's Eve party and nobody came, so this scares me.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ken.
We'll
talk to you a little bit later. I'm going to put you out of the way. Okay. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is today we're going to sort of do a similar format to what we did last week, where it was this open discussion on marketing issues. But what I really want to focus on today is marketing to referral sources and kind of diving a little bit deeper on that. And it's a bummer because she's not on the call, but I want to showcase one of the providers in her network at Only Assisted Living, because I think she came up with a very clever idea to engage her marketing audiences, and I hope that it inspires you. And I think that we can make this a topic of discussion. But for those of you who are not familiar, Only Assisted Living, it's a memory care property in Montgomery County, Maryland. And Mary Ellen is constantly coming up with new ideas. And so you can maximize the screen by clicking on the right-hand button there so that I'm minimized and my screen is maximized. And you can see the email that she sent out to her provider network. And it's encouraging people to do a kendama contest. And if you're not familiar with kendama, it's this little device here. So and if you look up on YouTube here, she just sent me mine. I'm going to just try. Almost got it. Almost got it. Whoops. Well, I'm horrible at kendama, but I'm going to get better thanks to Mary Ellen. And the cool thing about this is it's this little, fun device that you can build a skill, and you can take a break while we're doing these Zoom meetings and learn how to do it. And she's got a contest, and the first prize gets a Yeti cooler. So it's a really cool way to engage her referral audience. And people requested them, and she either mailed them or hand delivered them, dropped them off with PPE and everything like that. But I thought it was just a creative idea that we should showcase. I'm showcasing this not for you to steal it, okay? Because none of us want to do that. And if all of us started doing kendama contests, they wouldn't have any meaning in the marketplace, but more to use it as an inspiration for our discussion today on how can we outreach and build better connections to our referral sources. So now, if you've been on these calls, I'm going to go through some very common slides, but if this is your first time coming here, this will be a good reminder, and I'm going to go through them real quick. So today, we're going to focus, I hope that our dialogue, you can bring anything up, you guys know me, you can bring anything up, but I hope our dialogue focuses primarily on outreach to referral sources. And I view the world in three buckets when we have these marketing conversations. It's who your clients are, who your referral sources are, and who you refer to. Just to kind of recap, we've been doing these marketing masterminds on Tuesday for, we're on our 9th week right now. Just an FYI, we're going to take a break next week. So you're going to get a break from webinars from me. You're going to get a break from emails from me. Next week is 4th of July week. And so for me, it's going to be a great opportunity to sort of pause and kind of, I'm going to send you guys out some surveys and sort of figure out what life is going to be like in our online communication world after the 4th of July. So I really want your feedback on how these are going, and ideas to do for us to focus on in the future. So real quick, these are slides that because we have new people and old people joining these calls, just so you guys know, from a marketing perspective, I subscribe to the philosophy of low-hanging fruit and birds of a feather. Birds of a feather, find out you need to know who your clients are and who your referral sources are. And marketing is really easy. Just get more just like them, birds of a feather. And then low-hanging fruit, I'm a big fan of spending less on marketing and being as cost-effective as you possibly can. And so these calls, and when we're brainstorming about marketing, I'm looking for low-hanging fruit, affordable and effective ways that you can do better marketing and outreach. And the secret to finding the low-hanging fruit is knowing who your clients and your referral sources are, and that'll be apparent today. Okay, again, 3 more buckets. Everybody on this call falls into one or more of these buckets: the senior housing bucket, the aging in place bucket, and then the resources bucket. And examples, senior housing is obvious, but aging in place could be villages, it could be home care agencies, it could be universal design, transportation services. Resources could be a government agency, a nonprofit, aging life care, or an elder law attorney. And then these 3 buckets, just to recap, we're going to focus on your referral sources today for our discussion. So the last slide before we kind of get into the discussion, and I'm hoping you guys raise your hand and share challenges and ideas and things that you guys are working on. But I just want to introduce the concept of the marketing funnel, because this can be very helpful in the types of communication that you are sending out there, because you want to be communicating. You don't want to communicate to everybody on your list as though they're the same type of person. You want to communicate to those folks that you just met. That's your lead generation bucket. A little bit differently than those people that have already given you referrals, or they've already signed on and become a member of your organization. So, okay. So here, before we, guys, just get ready to raise your hand and share, but I'm going to just sort of prime the pump with some ideas on marketing to referral sources and better communicating to referral sources. So first off, one of the things that we've got to do is we've got to really drill down and find out exactly who is giving referrals to us, okay? And this is easier said than done. And oftentimes what we find when we're working with different organizations is that we sort of take for granted the people that are giving us referrals, our trusted referral sources, and then we're out there trying to do everything we can to get a new referral source. And it's very important to understand who the people are that have trusted your organization enough to give you a referral. Dig down and learn as much as we can about them, and then we just go out and get more people just like them. And so let me kind of go down the bullet list here of a hypothetical scenario that'll help you understand this more if you aren't already doing it. So who do you get referrals from? Look back over the horizon. You may be a new business that doesn't have more than 1 or 2 customers, but if you can target the one referral that you've got from another provider or an organization, that's all it takes to be on the path to creating a great referral strategy. So in this example, we're saying, okay, I got a referral from somebody and their job title is social worker. Very important, okay? Who is the person? What is their title and their role in the organization that gives you a referral? And second is, what is the organization? So this happens to be a social worker in a nursing home, all right? Now, this is very important because if one social worker in a nursing home has given you a referral, potentially all the social workers in the nursing homes, other nursing homes, can be giving you referrals too. And you've got a story to tell because, I've been working with the social worker over at Shady Acres. She's been referring her clients to me. This is what we do for them. Much more effective than the bullet list of here's what we do for our clients is telling the story of how you helped somebody in the same role. Then you're going to look at, okay, who are the clients that this referral source has given to me? Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Jones, etc. Write them down. All right. And again, we dove into this a few weeks ago, knowing exactly who Mrs. Smith is, what you're providing to her, what church she went to, what's her occupation, what her hobbies are. Super important, but that's a different topic. So now you've got your job title, nursing home social worker. You've got the clients that they've referred to you. You've got the specifics on the clients. Where, like if you're a home care agency, what location is this referral source referring to? What are the healthcare needs that this referral source is referring to? This is super important. Oftentimes I run into providers, and as we're brainstorming, they will begin to talk about a specific referral source that they have. And they're like, but she only gives us these types of cases, and I'm trying to get a different type of case from her. And one of the things that you will discover is that oftentimes, like if let's say I am this nursing home social worker, and I referred you a client that has Parkinson's disease, and you did a great job taking care of them. Now I've sort of put you in this silo of, oh, if I ever get a client with Parkinson's, this is the place that I send them. When in reality, as a provider, you can take care of more people than just Parkinson's patients. And that's an opportunity as you engage in your referral relationship to share stories of other providers that you've taken care of with different conditions so that you can kind of move that referral source to a broader silo. But we see this oftentimes is that in our mind's eye, because they took care of this client, that's the type of client they take care of. Now, this is very important. Revenue generated from the referrals. So you look at your nursing home social worker, you look at the clients they've referred, and how much revenue was generated by those one, two, or three clients. Now, why this is important is that, for those of us who are entrepreneurs, we're kind of the ones that are in charge of our budget and where things are going and what have you. But for those of us who are in roles where we need to get permission to spend money on marketing and to what we're doing, 5 days a week, the ability to sort of say that, look, we get referrals from nursing home social workers. And in fact, our average referral is X dollars, and we generate approximately X dollars per year on this referral segment. That's a great excuse to go to your boss and say, we should invest a little bit more money here in this segment, specifically in this segment, because it's a powerful referral source to us. And oftentimes, again, when I visit with marketing folks, sometimes they're, working on brochures in their basement, to attract these very lucrative referral sources to the organization. And so you can sort of see where you might be able to sort of shift some of your budget. It may be that, if you can make the argument that this profession is a good source of referrals and it's referred X dollars, that I'll bring an example. Let's say you get a lot of referrals from elder law attorneys and you've got this dollar value, but your boss never lets you go to the elder law attorney conference. This is a great excuse to invest a little bit to get in front of that audience in a more meaningful way. And then the last bullet is, what did you do to reciprocate the referral? So when you're looking at your referrals, the question that I like people to think about is, okay, I got this great referral, generated X amount of dollars. We took a great job with this client. What did I do in exchange to that referral source? Most of us are not looking for tit for tat, but it's very important that, if you got a big referral, at a minimum, a thank you card, at a minimum, a phone call, at a minimum, I would say, giving that referral source updates on a regular basis on how that client is doing so that they can so that they feel confident in working with you and that they also consider referring more to you. A lot of times we can't give reciprocal referrals. So that nursing home social worker who gives you a referral, your business may not be the type that refers back to a nursing home, but just asking her, what can I do to help you out and make your life easier? It may be that she would really be appreciative to have a fun toy at her desk or something like that. I'm joking, of course. Okay, so I'm trying to wind down here and then we'll open this to discussion. Next steps. So here's the next steps. The first step is identifying your referral sources and drilling down as deep as you can. The next steps is create a complete list of individuals with the same job title in the same segment. Again, if you're in, any town, USA, Smith County, and you get referrals from nursing home social workers, you need to get a list. You need to work to get a list of every nursing home social worker in that county that you're doing business, or in whatever geographic region your organization covers. You got one referral, you can get more, okay? Map out a specific communication strategy for this segment. So for example, one of the greatest things that we've done helped our clients do over the years is just simply, and I don't have a brochure on my desk, but pretend this is a brochure, is modifying your brochure and your communication to be specific to that audience. So for example, you might create a little brochure that says, nursing home social workers trust us because. So it's specific to that segment. Schedule an outreach plan based on the relationships that you have with those referral sources. And again, so this is going back to the marketing funnel. This down here, this green, the sales, the customer relationships, these are the nursing home social workers that you're currently getting referrals to. The way you communicate with them, again, it should be on an ongoing basis. You've got a relationship with them. You don't want to lose them. You want to maximize that. So you want to be in touch with these folks. But up here at the top, the lead generation and lead nurture, these are the ones that you don't have a referral relationship with, and you want to engage them more deeply if possible. So thinking about unique communication to those three segments. An all hands on deck meeting with your internal team. I know that there's lots of people on this call that are one person entrepreneurial shops, but I also know there's lots of people on this call that work in senior housing or in home care agencies. And all the marketing and outreach rests on your shoulders, okay? It's a high pressure job. But here's the thing, and we discovered this at a nursing home many years ago. The admissions director was always going to parties. She was always dressed really nice. And she was always out and about, networking like we used to. And some of the staff didn't understand what she was doing. They thought she was just out going to parties because they didn't understand what the marketing strategy was for the organization and who she was outreaching to. And what we found is that when they had an all hands on deck meeting, and they explained who the top referral sources were to the nursing home, and they explained, what Cindy was doing when she was out there doing this outreach, it opened up a world of leads that the organization was not taking advantage of. So now that every staff member knew that they get referrals from specific practice of doctors, when doctors were walking about the nursing home meeting with their clients, the staff was much more engaging, and they had little contests to see who could get the most leads during a day to the admissions director of the nursing home. It just, pulling back that curtain and making marketing a more transparent activity where everybody is involved is can only deliver great results to an organization. Leverage your other provider relationships for introductions. So again, let's say that you are at this event today and there's a realtor in the audience and you've never received a realtor referral in the 30 years that your, home care agency has been around. But you do get referrals from attorneys from time to time. When you're communicating with that realtor who is not necessarily a referral source, the first thing to ask would be, hey, have you ever referred to home care agencies? And chances are they're going to say, no, I really haven't. It's like, well, I knew that because I get referrals primarily from nursing home social workers. It's like, oh, my best friend is a nursing home social worker. Have you met her? Or, I'm doing some outreach to nursing homes, to the staff, with COVID-19 in my area. Would you like to join me, or would you like me to share your business cards or what have you? God, business cards. I haven't given out a business card in 5 months. Okay. And then let's see, my last point on the next steps is document your plan. You don't need to write a 10-page marketing strategy or business plan anymore. One, Google Doc, or just, even just scribbling something down in a notebook on this is what I'm going to do to implement the strategy can be super helpful. And but what I've seen in my own, outreach and in my clients in the community is that when you get something on paper, you take ownership of it. But for those of us who have people that we report to, supervisors, the more you can kind of document, this is my plan, this is what I'm doing, these are the results that I got, and now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do more of what worked and less of what didn't, or I'm going to adapt what didn't and see if I can make it work. Supervisors appreciate that stuff, and especially and it does open up marketing and outreach budgets when you document things like that. The last thing a boss wants to do is just throw money into an endless pipeline. But if they can see that their staff member has a documented strategy, and this is why we're going to go to this conference or do a direct mail campaign or try, a programmatic online marketing, it can help. Whew. Okay, guys, I think I'm at the end of my my little chatter there. I am going to attempt to stop sharing my screen here, which I did it. Oh, wow, you just click on the button. Okay, and then what I'm hoping is that you guys will raise your hand and share your stories, or use chat if you'd like. But we got somebody. Got people raising their hand. This is awesome. Okay, Saria or Sario Mustafa. Hopefully you can come on here. Whoops. Can you, Surya, can you do your, while Surya is trying to get on, Scott Bach Hansen also has his hand raised. And the worst case scenario is we're going to have 3 of us on the screen. So let's see who can win the contest to get on the screen the quickest. Scott or Surya. So at the bottom, you should be able to turn on your mic and to present. Oh boy. This is the joys of trying a new platform. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Scott.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Scott. So what?
Hey, I actually had a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So in the previous Zooms, we've always put our information in the chat box, but because of the way we register now, do we not need to do that this time?
Yeah. So this, I'm glad you brought this up. Is that again, this platform, and what I like about this platform is that it's before what we were doing was just sort of this data dump into chat. What you can do now, I believe, and I want you guys to try this and report back to me. But for example, in participants, I see Scott, okay? I can view Scott's profile and I can actually, I am, okay, Scott and I are linked. I clicked on Scott's LinkedIn profile and I see that we're connected, okay? And so I can send Scott a message, which I'm, let me see if I can do that there. You can click on the message button and send Scott a message. So long story short, Scott, this gives us a little bit more selective ability. What it also does is it gives us as attendees a little more selective ability. So before, what we were doing was we were just all dumping our contact info. And then I'm sure that after the meetings, some of you got solicited by organizations that really weren't a match. This enables us to do a little bit more one-on-one networking and only connect with those people that are appropriate. So we'll give it a try. Does that help answer?
Sounds good. Thank you.
And since you're on, it says you're with Discovery Consulting. What is it that your organization does?
So we're in the financial services business with a unique approach in that we help families find money that's walking away unknowingly and unnecessarily. And we do that through a different model. We find that it's more practical to help families and individuals find the losers than try to pick the winners. Trying to pick the winners just means more risk for families, whereas what we do is we try to find ways to make them more efficient through the way that they're doing their everyday expenditures. It takes more time, but at the end of the day, it's better for the client.
Great. All right. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for being our second person on here. Okay. And okay, let's see. And I am going to lower his hand there. And okay. All right. We've got 10 minutes till 1. So if no one is going to raise their hand to sort of share to the audience, what I want to do is use our remaining 10 minutes to go back to networking at the tables and see how this works, guys. I mean, again, I'm just trying to deliver you guys experiences that are going to help us as a community cross-refer to each other and share resources. So it looks like nobody is raising their hand. And let me just check on chat and just make sure there's nothing crazy going on in chat that I need to know about. Let's see here, general chat. And okay, lots of stuff going on in chat. And again, guys, this is a great way to use chat, but I think if we continue to use this platform, we can do it differently. But okay, so since nobody is raising their hands, let's get back to the remaining. I'm going to leave this open to 1:15, and let's jump around to the tables, experiment with this platform. And then I'm going to send you all an email, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this platform, comparing it to Zoom and what have you, or other platforms you may know about. So I'm going to stop presenting. We're going back to networking, guys. I'm going to jump around to the tables like the bride, like I did at the beginning.